Hey everyone and welcome. Now I said before that the Londonderry mayor was probably the most dangerous woman in Ireland.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
But let me correct myself. This is Helen McEntry. Now she's the Fine Gael politician who's served as Minister for Justice since June 2020. Not completely though. She's had 2 maternity leaves for a 6 months each, so she's been off for a year, and then comes back and says this. Now this is in regards to migrants being moved out of Ireland's hotels and B&Bs, and it was on News Talk FM, an Irish radio station. Have a listen to what she says in regards to communities not being happy at being overwhelmed, literally overwhelmed, by more numbers than are in these communities, whether they like it or not. Have a listen.
No amount of communication would have stopped those who intentionally went to Coolock that day, or who had been already there, whose sole purpose was to sow division but also to create havoc. That was their sole focus, and you know that because of what happened, the scenes that we saw, and I think Gardaí responded extremely well in what was a very difficult and challenging scenario. You had hundreds of people throughout the day who came. They didn't want to talk, they didn't want to engage in conversation or debate as to the...
When has leadership ever wanted to talk to common people, apart from when they're campaigning for, I don't know, votes and power? When are they ever listening to us? So when she says things like, well, they didn't want to come and debate, the debating was over by that point. You were forcing it on them. Where's the debate on that? It's not talking, is it? Let's continue.
rights or wrongs or the merits or not of what was happening.
There are no merits for a village with 100 and something people living in it to be told they're getting 280 illegal migrants, whether they like it or not.
What they wanted to do was cause harm. The community have said very clearly, and there are groups on the ground, there are partnerships, there are organisations who are there to help with integration, who are there to support communities in general.
They're not there to listen to the concerns and stop the flooding though, are they?
They want to be engaged with, and they are being engaged with. So there have been meetings as far back as March when this was identified as a site, further engagement in April, further engagement in May. But you have to remember, we're only at the early stages here. So
early stages of what exactly? What's the early stages of? You notice how there's no consideration for the, what's the word that these people like to use? Indigenous population, and all consideration for people that are just breaking in and getting everything they could ever possibly need handed to them, when the indigenous population get nothing of the sort.
Minister O'Gorman and his department identified this site, and if we're to move away from private providers, smaller B&Bs, hotels, the way that we've had to do this up until now, we do have to have these larger types of sites.
What I'm saying is, were they supported enough? Because we saw those pictures on the front of all the newspapers of guards, as you...
And this is the contempt that's going to come out now from both of them in regards to the common man. Have a listen to this disgusting display by the media and the Minister for Justice.
Say in soft caps, shirt sleeves, and there were rocks and bricks being hurled at them, and they didn't have shields, they didn't have, we didn't see that public order sort of, we didn't see helmets, we didn't see the kind of maybe equipment that we should have seen. The water cannon, I know you say, how long does it take to deploy a water cannon from Northern Ireland to a site in Ireland? The Republic of Ireland.
It can be done quickly. Obviously, if it's coming from the north, it'll take a number of hours, but it wasn't requested, it wasn't asked for. This wasn't a decision that was taken by the Commissioner. We do have one that's been procured so that we have it ourselves, and that was taken after last November.
How long till we have one here?
It's going through the process at the moment, so I expect that we'd have it in the next few months. It's not something that you can order off the shelf. But it would take a matter,
if we did call for it, the one from Northern Ireland, it would take a matter of hours to have it.
It would, but again, this wasn't requested or needed. The decision, obviously, by the Gardaí was taken that it wasn't needed.
She looked so gutted about that though, didn't she? Didn't she look gutted that she didn't have the facilities to attack civilians, whether they're throwing rocks or not? Maybe you should have listened to them in the first place and it wouldn't have got to that level of discontent, shall we call it. Now obviously this is further proof, isn't it, that they think they're above the common person. They think that your opinions, your nation, your culture, your ethnicity and your belief system are all wrong and should be eradicated. Am I wrong on that? Because that's what it is, isn't it? To hoist this on little villages is absolutely disgusting. And then to say, well, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We're going to have to build up loads and loads and loads of these new cities, and none of them will be to help the Irish people that already live in the area. Oh, no, 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 no. It'll be at their detriment, won't it? But there's nothing you can do about it because they don't care. Let me know what you think. I'd like to know your opinion. Stay sane, everyone. It's getting more and more crazy, isn't it? I'll see you on the next one.